What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you are all doing well. We're going to be looking over the RWBY Premium Booster cards today, but I am not alone. I have a wonderful special guest with me today, Husky Ninja from the Discord. How's it going?
It's going really good.
Heck yeah.
And hello, everyone.
For those who do not know who you are, what you do, feel free to introduce and tell people what you do.
Hello, everyone. I am Husky Ninja. I am a cosplayer from the UK, and I also make Weiss Schwarz content, as well as I've been playing Weiss Schwarz since the first English Love Live Sunshine trial deck came out, just years ago.
It's been so long for those.
It has. And outside of cosplay, I also do Lolita fashion, as well as do cosplay photography.
Mm-hmm. Which you posted your recent convention panel on your channel, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So I will put a link for that in the description for anybody who wants to go check out that, especially if you're interested in Lolita fashion, because Lolita fashion is fabulous to me. So, but we are going to be going over. So the RWBY Premium Booster, by the time this video comes out, is already obviously going to be out. I've been trying to look at some of the prices of some of the cards. It's not too egregious, but I did want to hold off and go through the cards with Husky Ninja, because I know she is a big avid fan of RWBY like myself. So we wanted to take a look together and see what all is in store. So for anyone who is unfamiliar with like the sets and whatnot that have come out with RWBY, the first booster of RWBY covered volumes 1 through 3 of the show, and this is, and Husky, correct me if I'm wrong on this, this just covers volume 4, correct? Or is it 4 and 5?
Oh, the premium booster set covers from where volume 3 ended,
Yeah,
all the way to when Yang's on her bike on her way to join RWBY.
okay, so I don't remember if that was the end of,
which
that might
is
be the end
like
of 4.
That's volume 4 up to just before volume 5 starts.
Okay, gotcha. So that's the time frame we're looking in for the cards that came out in terms of like what.
So the
cards
best way, the best way I see it is volumes 1 and 3 are the Monty trilogy.
Yes.
This is the series that's right after Monty's passing.
Mm-hmm. And I know they changed the programs they were using for the animation and stuff as well, for making the models move and everything. They changed that up in between those volumes as well. So even more of a, like, 1 through 3 still has that, like you said, the Monty trilogy. It has such a, like, it is so near and dear to my heart for that, because of it. So, but they did a fantastic
Same here with
job.
me.
So, but we are going to be taking a look at a couple of these. I say a couple, but we're going through all of them today. And they have some very interesting stylistic choices for some of the card art and the overframes, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So,
choices is a word.
it is they made some decisions that I don't think got like double checked. They're like, oh yeah, just do it. We'll like I said, we'll cover it when we get to literally like the third card, and like is where it begins, and there's more that have it. Typically for my first impressions videos, we highlight the double rares, because that kind of gives us a good frame of reference for what we're going to run into, and then I'll kind of glance over the other cards, and if I see anything that is super crazy or kind of interesting, I'll talk about those. But so for the premium boosters, you can't really do that, because they all, like, every single card has a normal rare and a foil version, as you can see by the Jean on screen right now. But yeah, so every single one of them are going to have these same exact rarities, but it's also only 55 cards, so it doesn't really matter. We're just going to blitz through them and see what we can put together, because I'm also been, like, this morning been recalling all the stuff from the first booster, trying to, like, remember, like, okay, how do my, because I haven't played my RWBY deck in like forever, so I'm trying to remember all the cards. But it shouldn't be an issue. It'll come back to me as I'm going through this. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and dive right into this without further ado. As the guest, I will let you have the choice. Basically, you and I could just like bounce back and forth between each of the cards. We'll just alternate. But since you are the guest, I will let you have the choice whether you want to go first or not.
I'll let you go first.
I figured you also wanted to touch on the Yang cards, most definitely. So, alrighty. So let's take a look. So the first one is Jean Unsure. It's a 0/0 500 power. It's got 2 effects. So we have a brainstormer right off the bat, but let's see. When your climax is placed in your climax area, choose one of your characters. That character gets the following ability until end of turn. When this card attacks, look up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 card amongst them, put it on top of the deck, and put the rest into your waiting room. So the for anyone who's familiar with the quintuplets, the Nino shenanigans of just being able to basically just like stacking effects that let you basically just always choose what your triggers are going to be and everything, which is very nice depending on the card. I'm assuming this might have better synergy depending on the climax combo you pair it with, so we'll see. We got a brainstorm. Pay 1, rest this card, mill 4. Let's see. For each climax, perform the following action. Look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 card amongst them, add it to hand, put the rest into your waiting room. So, typical generic brainstorm, being able to grab like any card is also just like really good. A lot of people kind of gravitate towards the searching and the salvaging brainstorm, but I still think like this kind of effect is still really good, but just not seen as much.
And you have nothing to play from hand as well.
Yeah. So it's like, oh cool, we'll just be able to grab whatever the heck we need. And as you can see, like it has the what they call overframe rares. Which I don't think they have RWBY rare in this set, but
I don't think they do either. But I do know one of the premium
SPs.
cards is going to be a shop promo card.
Okay.
Because I watched the conference early yesterday morning.
Ooh, fun. Okay.
And it's one of RWBY with her hood fully up.
Aw, okay. That's gonna be cool to see. Let's see. So this one isn't too terrible on the eyes for its overframe rare, but we'll continue along. Like I said, I'll try to zoom in when we get to certain cards and kind of show this off. But all right, so we're on to the next one. I'll let it hop over to you.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have a level 0 cost Yang card called Yang Waking from a Nightmare, which is a really gorgeous artwork of Yang really lying in bed. Especially where it's like, I was so worried they wouldn't make it look right for card art.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the continuous ability of if you have another Tai Yang and Yang rehabilitation training, this card gains 3,000 power, which for level 3 to get to 4,000, I think is quite good. Mm-hmm. But you need to make sure you have that specific card on your stage, because otherwise it just won't work.
Exactly.
It has the auto ability of when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed. If you have another remnant character, you may choose one level 1 or lower character in your opponent's center stage and put it in your opponent's waiting room.
Mm-hmm. A little bit extra
the use
removal.
I see,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it's like one where it's like, you know, the card you have in front of it has no way of beating it.
Mm-hmm. So being able to get rid of, especially with people who use runners, if you have just certain other cards, you can do a lot of stuff with this. There's a lot of different setups. Like you said, as long as you have the Tai Yang and Yang card as well, it's a 4K. It's like, okay, this is gonna get over stuff at level 0 very easily. So could be some very interesting extra removal. And like you said, for the art, the way that the programs and everything in this works with like basically CG in nature for how the animation looks and everything, getting it on the right frame for each of the card arts as well, I think, like you said, I think they did a very good job for it. So, especially for the ones where they're like in motion and whatnot. Like in the next one, like that's a very tight shot, which is like really good. That I feel that they did good, at least for the capturing the angle and everything. So, like I said, for this Yang as well, it's like very beautiful card art. So
it's like frame particularly of Yang. I was worried they're just gonna have to just fully zoom in on like more of her upper half.
Yeah.
Especially for like the full art, and that would look distorted.
Yeah.
But it does not look distorted at all.
It doesn't look distorted. It looks like it's shifted slightly to the right. Like just a smidgen, like if you like on the edge where you see the arm, you can actually see where it's starting. Obviously, for those who don't know the show, she lost an arm, and she's got a robo arm to accompany her in the rest of the show, basically. So, but no, so that's cool. Let's get moving. Okay, so this is the very next one, the one you were talking about, the Taiyang and Yang that this level 0 needs to have on the field. And this is where one of the major complaints is going to come into play, not so much for the effect, but for the art. We'll get to that. So it's a 002K. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay the cost, which is just discarding a remnant character, and you can specifically search for that Yang from your deck. So, okay, so if you have this, you can easily pull it out. Then when this direct attacks, this gets +1. So, okay, so I see this. I see the immediate synergy. Basically, this can search out the other Yang. The Yang punches something in the face and basically clears a space on your opponent's center stage, guaranteed. And then this one can poke directly for extra soul. So that is actually really cool. The effect is not bad. It's just I'm going to zoom in for anyone who like can't really tell. Okay, so sorry, that behaved weirdly. Like, this is some, like, I can read this, but for the overframe rare, this looks really wonky. Like you said, for anyone who has like dyslexia, this just fucks with you. Like, it's just kind of weird. I don't understand.
They go with that choice.
Yeah. This is
But they could have done like how they did with all their cards, and like zoomed in artwork, and then a zoomed out artwork.
Yeah, like for this one, which isn't too terrible, but
just kept the borders black.
Yeah, but like say the waking up from the nightmare one, like this isn't bad. Like this is like doable, but like just the red yellow is just like, oh my goodness. Like, it looks cool, but it's like, okay, but if someone has to read your effects, like, okay, that's going to be a little bit annoying.
Or even have, like, for example, like, Taiyang's emblem on the top, and Yang's one at the bottom.
Be very easy to do. But, and see, like, you don't have the yellow swashes on the original, so it's a very, like, because you do have, like, some of the red swashes in the back, like, up top there. A little bit on the side here, but where it's just all of a sudden a whole bunch more red, a whole bunch of yellow. I don't know. Like,
it's just like they looked at us like, what this overframe needs is more yellow. It just randomly splotched it on.
It's like so you ever see like a painter just like take a glob of paint on their brush and just swipe it at the canvas? That's just kind of what it makes me think of. So
same here.
So. But, alright, well, so we're going to see more stuff like this, basically, as we go on, but yeah, for a collection piece, it's not, like, that's pretty freaking cool, but in terms of, like, if you actually had to play this card, your opponent's sitting there just like, I can't see, so...
It's like, some people say, if they're playing the overframe, they're going to make a card sleeve insert of what it does.
I know.
Just so they can read it.
Like, oh my goodness, it's like, hey, am I allowed to do, or like have I know, like, obviously this being in English is kind of whatever, but I know in JP, like some of the people who would play like mixed tournaments and everything, English and JP, I've seen people just have like papers of like all of their card translations over to the side. I could just imagine someone having to do the same thing if someone's like, I can't read this. So
it's like, so when a Bushiroad, explain why.
Oh yes. All right. So moving on, I'm moving my head over to be able to show off this very lovely SP, which I wasn't expecting them to do, like an actual legit SP for the premium booster. I was expecting where like they do the hot stamp stuff for like say anybody who's seen the Hololive premium boosters and stuff like that. Like they do SPs.
Like all previous premium boosters, all they've got it was just like a hot stamp on a normal card.
Yeah. This straight up has
They've
barbers.
gone above and beyond with the RWBY set.
So I'm very happy to see this, most definitely. But yeah, so I had to scoot my head over, but now we have everything in frame. Yeah.
Oh, this is the level 1 cost 0 Yang Determined in her amazing biker jacket outfit.
Absolutely, honestly underrated. Like I think the biker jacket looked freaking awesome. That's just me.
The only bit I never liked about the biker jacket is the tails.
That's fair. But well,
I
wasn't looking down that far. My eyesight was directed elsewhere. Sorry, typical male.
This has a continuous ability, and if you have 2 or more remnant characters, this gets plus 2k, which reminds me a lot of the level 2 Yang Warm Welcomed, that had a similar ability, but was plus 3k on a level 2 that made it the power of a level 3. So it's nice they've done a similar sort of ability, but at a lower level for this card. And also, pay 1 when this card attacks. You may pay the cost, and if you do, when you attack, you can perform a trigger check twice.
Heck yeah.
Which reminds me of a Yu Watanabe card in Sunshine's JP set, which has that as its ability at level 0.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, if you're unsure if you're going to get the damage you need because of a cancellation, you do your trigger check twice, and your opponent has to do the damage check twice.
Pretty much.
So you may not get, like, your first attack through, but you might get the second one through.
And especially with, I know a lot of the Yang cards had a bunch of the choice triggers, so being able to hit the choice triggers as well is, like, very, very nice. So. And
I just love the fact that the signed card is from the promotional artwork for the series this is covering.
Absolutely. Like, that's another big thing for this as well, where, I don't mind this for, depending on the card, where it's just like, okay, we're going to shift the image over slightly and then put the SP, the signature up there or something. That's typically what happens 9 times out of 10. This is just straight up alternate art, and it's like you said, it's for the promotional stuff. It looks so fucking good. Let's see. Piece of me is gone.
To what they...
Oh, that...
It's similar to what they did with the Team RWBY cards, where you had the really cool, unique artwork for just, like, their faces. But then, when it was the full body art, it was from the promotional artwork for volumes 1 to 3. So it's very reminiscent of that to me, but done so much better.
Absolutely. I also love how some of these they've been put like little messages, or like for the RWBY cards, they put like little messages. This hit kind of hard. I actually hadn't read this. It says, "A piece of me is gone and it's never coming back." That hurts. But it's Barbara, Bimmy Dunkles, as we called her in Rooster Teeth. That is
pun
beautiful.
Queen herself.
Exactly, the pun queen.
Plus, I loved in recent interviews where she knew about Yang losing part of herself during Volume 1.
Yeah, it's that leaves
all
a different
that time
thing.
She knew.
Yes, it hits way differently. Oh my goodness! But let us continue onwards. We have a. All right, so we're getting back into Jean. Let's see. We have a Jean. How do I pronounce it? Knuckle? I am probably going to butcher this. I am so sorry. Fighting the Knuckle-V? Knuckle-V. I don't know.
Oh, the
Knuckle-V. Okay. We have a 104K, if Pyrrha video message, more feels, just punching me right in the heart, is in your memory, this gets plus 3k power, which is not insignificant. Basically, a zero costs, like, as long as you have the Pyrrha, which I'm assuming the Pyrrha probably gives, like, a buff or something as well. We'll see when we get to that one. It's number 27, so it's a bit of the ways down. But a free level 1 that just starts out at 7,000 power, depending on if it gets even bigger, like, that's actually not insignificant. Like, that can punch pretty hard. I don't know how difficult it is to get the Pyrrha into memory. It might be easy and just be like, oh cool, pay like 1 stock, bam, goes to memory and you're good. But we will see. Next we have a Sun card. We haven't seen Sun in so long. Got Michael Jones.
Only really had like 1 card in the base set.
Yeah, it's like 1, maybe 2, and that's like me being generous.
It was like the most common yellow. I will point out like 20 of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how much did they print this guy?
Oh,
but we have level 1,
mm-hmm.
cost 0, Sun roaring to go, which is from the scene where he meets up with Blake on the boat his way to Menagerie.
That was such a great scene. I loved it.
As the continuous ability, if you have 2 or more remnant characters, this gets plus 2k, making it a 6k just off the gate.
Mm-hmm.
But it all depends on, like, do you have the other remnant cards on your stage at that time?
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue, but like being able to be the 6k both offensively and defensively instead of just like, oh, during your turn you get this buff. I prefer this a lot more. Well, that's just me personally.
Same here. Has the auto ability of put this card into your waiting room. When your other remnant character is frontal attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your characters in battle, and you can give that character a 1,500 power boost to the end of your turn.
So he always be.
I think's pretty handy.
Yeah, no, I could see that coming in and doing something. Like it just really depends on the situation. But I prefer seeing it on a card that still has, like I said before, with this still having a decent bit of defense, so to speak. Having that utility is good, but being able to like stay around longer makes it more of a threat in my mind. Granted, even if it was lower power, if someone killed it first, you could still sack it because it's only sitting there reversed on the field. If it's reversed, you could still use the effect, but it's whatever.
Especially like if you're at level 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And you put on the power boost on a card, next that your opponent's going to wipe out before you have a chance to even play it.
Absolutely. So they got to kind of sit there and roll the dice like, all right, are they going to activate it or not? It's like, no, we'll see. Let's see. We got the next one is a Taiyang Curious, is a 1045. So already has a demerit right off the bat. We have this card cannot side attack, but it gets 500 power for each of your other remnant characters, making him a 1065. I have a thought on this, but let's finish the last effect. At the beginning of the Encore step, if you do not have another rested character on your center stage, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock, if you do rest this card. So you basically just pay 1 stock to save him. This feels kind of weird to have a penalty of not being able to side attack, because
like,
there's... sorry.
Sorry. It's like that ability of not being able to side attack to me. Mm-hmm. It's just like, why?
I don't get it, because there's other similar cards. I could like put future me put a picture of there's a Taige from oh my god, what was it called? Kantai, that straight up the buff that it gets puts it to a 1065 as well, but no drawbacks whatsoever. Like the difference being obviously the Taige doesn't have the reduced cost to save itself encore wise. But it just, I don't know, it just feels kind of out of place. I don't think it's like too overly strong that you need to have the demerit. I don't know, the demerit's whatever. It just feels kind of out of place. All right. Let's see.
Like, what can we do with this ability? What card can we put it on?
apparently it's just like, all right, we got to give
It's just
something
like,
of the
let's just
merit.
stick it on the dad.
The dad's like, but meanwhile, it's kind of funny. It's like, this cannot side attack, but in the art, he's giving this side eye, just like,
Exactly.
just like,
In both artworks, this is like the dirty side eye look.
just like, is this like a commentary on? I don't know. But yeah,
Because I noticed when Yang is getting her bike ready
mm-hmm.
to ride out, and just like giving her the side eye for it.
This card cannot side attack. Clearly, it can look at you from the side very menacingly. It's just the Patrick. He's just standing there menacingly. So, just very much what that is. So, I don't know. That's whatever. But let's see. Next, so we have a backup next. All right.
Yep, with another one of the eyesore backgrounds.
Yeah, we got the. Be careful if you have epilepsy. I don't know.
I just hope they don't have this weird card art from this premium set moving forward.
Yeah, if it just sticks to this one, I'll give it a pass. But if they try to do this for like every single like other premium boosters for RWBY, I'm just gonna be like, okay, no. So we'll see.
This is a level 2, cost 1 backup card. Sun activated semblance. We have in the middle artwork of just Sun showing his semblance ability while they're fighting the Sea Grim, which I forgot the name of which one it actually is.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I know exactly which one it was. I don't
There's
remember.
too many Grim.
There are.
It has the ability of auto, pay 1, use this card's backup. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose 1 Sun activating semblance in your waiting room and return it to your hand. As backup is a 2/5.
So, very, very nice being able to recycle itself, basically. So, just being able to get it back over and over. And just constantly have. Means you don't have to run but like maybe 1 copy and you're good. So, sorry, I scrolled down to see the next Sun card. Just the goofy ass smile. Which is just like the embodiment of Michael Jones anyway. That's just whatever. But next one is a 2/16K Sun Awkward Smile. During your turn, this gets 1,000 power for each of your other Remnant characters. So with a full field, it'll be a 10K. If you have 2 or more other Remnant characters, this card's soul does not decrease by side attacking. And at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may choose this card and a particular Blake, which is number 51 coming down. And you can exchange them as standing without paying a cost, which is actually kind of interesting. There is a... What was her name? It was Kanata from Hololive that does something very similar of being able... Well, obviously, I guess there were... Okay, that Kanata you have to pay a stock, but it's with any character as opposed to this is just with that particular Blake. If you have multiple copies on the field with each, you could probably do some interesting little moving shenanigans and just be like, haha, you can't attack me, you know. It also just makes me imagine him just running to hide behind Blake. That's whatever.
It's like, sorry. Where you don't have to pay stock to stand them, that saves on so much stock for late game.
Absolutely. So I'm curious as to what that Blake is. So definitely, I'll have to definitely remember this when we get to that one. I'm not saying it's out of place like the Tai Yang like can't side attack thing was, but it says if you have 2 or more other Remnant characters, you can side attack without the soul negative, which feels weird putting it on a card that's obviously primarily like during your turn is offensive. Like I said, it becomes a 10,000 attack. Like you're getting over most level 2 stuff. I mean, I guess if you had to face a level 3.
And that's not even taking into account for any climax cards or assists either.
Exactly. So, I mean, base 10,000 before others. So, it feels really weird.
It feels like they may have accidentally put, like, the wrong, like, abilities on this Sun card and the Taiyang.
Yeah, it almost feels like you could swap
let's just keep it that way.
Yeah, it almost feels like, oh, hey, this was supposed to go on a different card, whether it's the Taiyang or something else. It just feels like it should have been on something else. I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
It feels just out of place for Sun.
Yeah. I gotta move my head over again for the next one. We got another really, really cool looking SP. Honestly, one of the few moments that Jean, like, actually looks like a badass.
Plus, when they put spider lilies in the background as well.
Yeah. It's like, oh god, I had to zoom in for this one as well.
A little nod to Pyrrha.
Yeah. I gotta, come on. Zoom in, you little dingus. Okay, here we go. So I want to see what this says. For the SP for this next Jean, I'll let you read it in a second. I just wanted to go ahead and read what this says. You didn't drag us along. You gave us the courage to follow you. Oh, that is so sweet. And obviously from signature from Miles. So that is so cool. Oh my goodness. So touching. I'm gonna cry. No. But all right, I got my head moved out of the way.
I know one of the sign cards people are hunting for this set. There's one in particular people didn't really talk about.
The Li Ren?
The Li Ren.
Yeah.
For one particular fact.
It actually has his signature.
Volumes 1 to 3. Mm-hmm. He was voiced by Monty.
Exactly. Ooh, and there was no SP
4
for him.
Onwards, it's voiced by his brother.
Yeah.
Or one of his brothers.
Neil? I think was his Neil So like that is like that was another very interesting thing. I don't think a lot of people like realized once it swapped. It was like,
I was just cheering about like the Jean, the RWBY, Weiss, and Blake. Mm-hmm. No one was talking about one of the sign cards.
And I think that's like when I looked through TCG Player just because I wanted to see what like the SP prices were looking like, I think that Ren was like one of the cheaper like SPs. I'm just like,
it's just like, why?
This is the closest you're gonna get to like a signature from Monty being from his brother. That's like the closest thing you're gonna get. Like, okay,
with it being from one of his 2 brothers.
I didn't know he had 2. I just knew the one.
He has another brother who's really active with the RWBY community. Oh. Who's nicknamed Chivy.
Okay. Interesting. Alright. I actually didn't know we were going to get...
And he was the one who pointed out the SP of Li Ren to me. It's like, you play that card game, right? It's like, have you seen this card?
Eyeballs near about pop out of head going, what?
Yeah, because it's like, I thought he didn't have a signed card.
Yeah, I had to double check. Like, obviously, he had already passed away for years before they ever... Obviously, before any RWBY cards ever went into production for...
It's why...
Yeah.
It's why with the opening from the series this is covering,
yep,
you have the single rose with the rose petal falling from the moon.
Oh,
because that's their tribute to Monty.
Oh, that... Yeah.
As well as the song Cold.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can't listen to without bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, oh my goodness. We could rant about, like, just RWBY in general like, all day. Just so many moments that just hit hard. And the SP thing, like, that really hit hard when I realized. It's like, oh no, yeah. So... But yeah, let's
back to cards.
Yeah, we have to bring ourselves back to Weiss. It's like, oh wait, what? We could easily do like a fucking RWBY podcast. Like that's like very easily I could get people in to talk about that. Like, oh my goodness. But you're right. Let's go back to cards.
Oh, this is the level 3 cost 2. Jean working together has the auto ability. When this is placed on stage from hand, you may put the top card of your clock in your waiting room. So it's your generic level zone healer.
Pretty much.
It has a climax combo with Moment of Peace. When that's placed in your climax area. If you have 4 more remaining characters, you may pay the cost. If you do, this card gets the following ability till the end of turn. Also, when this card's frontal or side attacks, deal 2 damage to your opponent, and this card gets 1,000 power till the end of turn. Which I think is just an awesome ability.
For like very little...
Especially for Jean.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And auto, when this card directs attack, you can deal 3 damage to your opponent.
Which,
so you get
yeah.
So it's like you get both abilities instead of can only choose one or the other, like you do with the Salem from the base set, where you can only choose one of her 2 abilities.
Exactly.
It's why in my Yang-tastic deck, I run only 2 copies of her, so I can do both abilities.
just be able to get all the value in the world. And, like, it is a very, like I said, it's a very cheap effect of, like, okay, cool, I'm just discarding 1 card. And especially if it's able to direct attack, like, you're going to burn for 3. You're still going to get an extra soul from direct attacking. So, with that and the choice, you're basically poking for, like, 7 damage if you're able to swing to an open lane. And it's just like, okay, cool. We basically have, like, last shot Xenon levels of damage coming off of Jean for, like, nothing. Obviously, like, assuming you can direct attack, but, I mean, that shouldn't be difficult to pull off. Like, just being able to go, oh, cool, I'm going to have 1 card that's going to attempt to push you, like, an entire level. We'll see if it sticks, but honestly, that can get kind of crazy kind of fast. So, scoot my head right back over.
I love how it doesn't mention that the burn can be cancelled.
Yeah, I know, like, it says it on the card itself. Like, in the translation, it doesn't, but it says damage may be canceled. Like, it says it in it, like, on the card itself, but, like, for some reason, they just decided not to include it on the, effect, writing the effects up here. Oh, that's it for yellow? Oh, okay. I mean, guess that's, how many cards has that been? Okay, so that was 10 cards for yellow, because then the very next card was the Moment of Peace that combos with the Jean.
It's like, I have noticed from even just the base set, they tend to put all the blonde characters in yellow.
Wait a minute, are they going by hair
color? Base set, you had Yang, Taeyang, Sun, John, and Glinda. They're all yellow.
It's just like,
Apart from 1 trial deck card of Yang, which is in red. No, 2 from the trial deck that are in red. But all the rest of the Yang cards are all yellow.
Okay, so interesting question. That, like, I'm curious if this matches. I can't tell in the next one. So we're moving to green, and the first card's in Elia. I don't remember. She's a chameleon. She can change her, like, color at will. I don't remember what her original hair color was. Was it green?
Her original hair color is like a gingery brown.
So immediately they derail completely from the, hey, we're matching hair color.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, let's use the frame of when her skin's green and her hair is like a weird purpley blue.
Yeah. But it's all good. Alright, so let's go. So, and for this one, for some reason, they didn't put up, because all these say TBA for the
to be announced.
Yeah, for the normal versions of the cards, but it's whatever. We have the overframe rare arts. We're just gonna have to deal with it. But as you can tell, this is kind of funky splotch artwork for the Ilia. But whatever. I guess for Ilia, it kind of fits with the whole chameleon thing. I don't know, whatever. So you have a 0/0 Ilia, Overflowing Sadness, 500 power. At the beginning of your Encore step, if you do not have another rested character on your center stage, you can pay 1 stock to rest her, which is just really nice. When this card becomes reversed in battle, if this card's battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you can put that character on the bottom of your opponent's deck. Some very nice removal. For very cheap, you just end up, like, not generating any stock. So, because you do have to have, like, it says you can't have another rested character, which is interesting, but I don't know, let's go for it.
It's like, with its second auto ability, I have seen that before
that's common.
A trial deck card from Love Live Sunshine, and that is on the Happy Party Train Dea Kurosawa, where that's all she does.
Yeah, that was like her only effect for that.
But it's just so handy, which is like, yeah, you just attacked me, I'll stand Well, I'll pay cost, stand this card. Meanwhile, she's reversed. That card you just attacked her with goes to the bottom of your deck.
And just be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. We're getting into a little bit more support stuff with the Emerald and Mercury on the next one. This also has some of the weird, like, I'm trying to look at the difference. Okay, so for this one with the little splotch art for Elia, it's the red background, but they put purple from her hair. They put the greenish from Emerald's hair in the next one instead. So it's like, and even for the Ren below that, they kind of alternate, like, purple. So the red is the, like, consistent part of the background, and then it's like, depending on the character, let's put a different paint swash. Okay. Okay, but yeah.
At least it's not as bad as the ones that have like 3 different color splotches on them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see those when we get further down. It's just like, you think this is bad? Let's you ain't seen
it doesn't make it
yet.
any easier to read.
Exactly.
So this is the 0-0 Emerald and Mercury training. And when they revealed their new outfits compared to when you see them in Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
Continuous, all your remaining characters get 500 power, which is what the uniform Jean did in the base set.
Mm-hmm.
Which I just use as a generic assist card, even though it doesn't say assist.
Yeah.
But it's the best place for them.
Pretty much.
It has action, rest this card, choose one of your characters, and that character gets the following ability till the end of turn. Auto, when this card's battle opponent becomes reverse, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock into their waiting room. If you do, put that character into your opponent's clock.
So, being able to get some nice.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's basically removal. Making
it's just
certain
like,
that
I'm going to heal you, then I'm just going to throw the card.
Yeah, it feels really weird.
You just attacked me where that one was.
It does feel really weird. It's an effect that's been around for like a long time in Weiss, so I just kind of like look at it and go, "Oh, it's this again," but it's whatever. All right, we're back. My power decided to cut out randomly. I don't know if it's because of the storm or if it's because of something else. But apparently the Mother Nature said you're taking too long. But it's like we just want to like talk about RWBY. It's anyway. So yeah, it's gonna look like a really weird blip on the video, but it's okay. We're just gonna continue on from there. We had just talked about the Emerald and the Mercury. I lost track. Who said you read off this one, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So then we'll continue on. We're going to try to go through this a little bit quicker, which is perfectly fine. We're just going to touch on each card really quick. So Ren Semblance Awakened is the next one, which splotches. It's a 2K. During your turn, this gets 1,000 power. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put this card into your memory. If you do at the beginning... Oh, okay, I know. It's basically one of those cards that bounces out. If you do at the beginning of your next draw phase, choose a card named Ren Semblance Awakened in your memory and put it on any position of your stage. Essentially, it kills something, it bounces out, and then it comes back again the next turn. So, which is pretty cool. I see this more on like level 1s, but seeing it on a level 0 isn't the worst thing in the world. So, the next one's you. Was this his mom? I'm trying to remember Volume 4 so much.
And is his mom.
On Ren? Okay, cool.
It's right at the bottom of his hair. It's got a little bit of her hair color in it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it now. Okay. Got you. Okay, yeah, I also see him on the left side of the card. Okay, that...
Just like a bit of his head there.
Yeah, okay.
This is a 0-0 on Ren. Which is your basic 4,000 level 0 card, but you cannot play events or backup from your hand while she's on your stage.
Yeah, typical drawback for the oversized 4K, so not bad at all. We have Corsac and Finnick Albain. Albion, I may be mispronouncing that as well. So it's got 2 effects. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a remnant character from your hand. And if you do, search your deck for an Ilya Amitola, which was... Okay, it's not the one we saw first. It says number 18, so it's a bit further down. Reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. The other being a reverser effect. When this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is cost 0 or lower, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock in the waiting room, and if you do, put that character into your opponent's clock. So some more removal like before. So not too terrible. So we got to remember that Ilya coming up in a second here, because it specifically searches that one. So that's an interesting thing. So, yo, Rand be looking fly with the long hair though in the next one, like that. Look,
especially with his ombre gloves.
I know, it's just like just fits like so cool. Look, I'm straight, but even like, this man.
Please give him his ombre gloves back.
Heck yeah. So
this is the level 1 cost 0 Rand working together. Continuous memory during your turn. If there's a card in your memory, this gets 1500 power.
Mm-hmm.
And auto pay 1. When this is placed on the stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 1 cost 0 or lower remnant character in your waiting room and put it on any position on your stage. At the end of the turn, put that character into your memory. So it's kind of like standby without being a standby.
Kind of. It also like synergizes with multiple cards. We've already like seen, even in the first set where you had multiple cards that went to memory, the Piras and whatnot. The other level 0 ran.
Even I think it was also like the Amber Fall Maiden.
Yes, you're correct. That
was so much in memory for the Cinder.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, even that immediately puts that first effect online, or any other effect that's like as long as you have a card in memory. So okay.
So this just makes those cards from the base set just work that little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you play a red-green deck.
Yeah. And okay, so this is the specific Ilya that the other level 0 searched for. So we have 1045 Ilya Amitola. If you have 2 or more other remnant characters, this gets 1000 power. Generic, not too terrible. Becomes a 55. When this card attacks, if spotted under Moonlight, which is a gold bar climax, so a 1k1, so she'll be a 65 offensively. If that's in your climax area and you have another remnant character, you can discard 1 card. If you do, choose a remnant character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, and this card gets the following ability till end of your opponent's next turn. When this card is frontal attacked, you may return this card to your hand. Hello, Aaron Yeager from AOT. Okay,
It has been a while since the cards had that ability.
It has been a hot minute, and every time I see this, I go, oh no. I get like the Vietnam flashbacks. I hear the choppers in the distance from the errands. Like, oh my goodness. So, this is really cool. I'm not saying this is the most broken thing in the world, but this is a very cool effect. You basically get to discard anything, and gold. The thing is, as well, in any deck that abuses a gold bar setup, especially if you run like 8 gold bar, you're going to get those in your hand very easily. You can easily discard those, salvage back the characters you want, and then this card just bounces back at the end, like if it ever gets frontaled, at least for the 1 turn. But you can spam that. See, that's one of the other big things with the Aaron. You had to hard draw into the climaxes, which obviously people were able to do, and they spam the hell out of it. But it's that much easier to do in a gold bar deck, as well as back then they didn't really have climax swappers for Aaron, but I know RWBY has at least 2 climax swappers. I think it has at least 1. I think there's a second one. If I'm misremembering, blame that on the power going out. It turned off my brain, and so sorry to sit on this one a minute, but I just wanted to point that out. It is a very interesting thing. I'm very happy that RWBY got a really cool effect like this, but we'll go on to Oscar here. This is interesting already. I'm just reading it myself.
Next, we have the cost 0 level 1 Oscar, Inherited Cain. From when he starts to hear Ozpin in his brain.
Spoilers. But yeah.
Continuous. This card loses a level while on stage. So its level on stage is a level 0.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, there is a climax card in your climax area. You can put the top card of your deck into your stock.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps get you some free stock, essentially.
Exactly.
And all that, the base power of 5/5.
Mm-hmm. Which it works with any climax. That's kind of another thing people don't like. It's a climax combo, but it's with any climax. Really cool.
So you don't have to worry. Do you have the right climax card or not?
Exactly. Speaking of climax combos, the level 2/1 Ren is another climax combo. More gold bar stuff, so that's gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna have to go back over the first set and see what other.
It's like set 1. There's like a climax combo with one of the Ozpins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the only gold bar climax card. And I also think there was a penny as well.
Yeah, there was like a penny level 1 or something. Which I mean, I feel you would whatever that had, you're probably just gonna run the Ilya instead. So that's fair. So we have Ren fighting the Nekolave. If you have 4 or more Remnant characters on field, this gets minus a level in your hand, so you can play it at level 1. Gets 1,000 power for each of your other characters on the backstage. So he's going to come out at if you have 2 characters in backstage, an 8k. Really good. Let's see. At the end... okay, it's one of those that's like you get a lot of cards back, basically. At the end of this card's attack, if you have 4 or more other Remnant characters, which if you're able to early play, you do. You may pay the cost, which is sacrificing a gold bar for all who have fallen from your climax area. If you do, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 3 events or Remnant characters, reveal them to your opponent, put them to hand, put the rest into your waiting room. So you could potentially like get a lot of cards off of this. So that's actually really cool. This type of climax combo isn't like uncommon. It's been done before, but I like to see it. Also, Renzo, it looks awesome with this. So more of the splotches though. So this is kind of where you get like black, red, purple, and pink, like all kind of in the same splotch. So that's kind of funky to me. Oh my goodness. Let's see. We got another Oscar. Heck yeah. I forgot he showed up in Volume 4. He's been in so long, it just feels like... yeah.
It's when it's like, Ozpin starts to be like, yeah, I'm starting my next life.
Exactly.
This is the level 2 cost 1 Oscar buying tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when this card becomes reversed, if the level of this card's battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level,
Ooh.
you may put the top of your opponent's clock into his or her waiting room. If you do, put that character into your opponent's clock.
So we have anti-change.
So I see a use of that, I guess, like early runners and ones brought up by Standby.
Absolutely.
And auto alarm. If this card is on the top of your clock at the beginning of your main phase, you may choose this card and 1 character in your waiting room and exchange them.
So if you're trying to make use of the alarm mechanic, you basically can swap out to another card with alarm and probably activate its effect as well. So very interesting with that one. Or if you just need a color fix, to be completely honest. So I mean that has some very interesting use depending on what other alarm cards we have, because I don't remember. I think we had some in the first set. I just don't remember a lot of them. But
I don't think there were any in the first set. Mind you, I've never played green.
That's fair. That's also
yeah. I have
fair.
green cards in my binder.
Hey, that's fine. You can keep in the binder all day. That ain't no problem. Let's see. We have a 2/1. We have Daddy Ren. It's a 2/1/75. Can't side attack, but we have a couple effects up here. Beginning of your opponent's climax phase, if you have another Remnant character, you can pay the cost, which is pay 1 stock and discard a card. If you do, this gets 3k power till end of turn, so it'll be a 10/5. And the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may choose one remnant character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. So this is at the beginning of your opponent's. So if they purposely are like, I'm just going to run into this, you can just get a card for free. You can just salvage back for free. Or if you're like planning to... Oh, okay, so this is interesting. Okay. This is kind of like a deterrent from... You've seen the strategies where your opponent's just like, I'm just going to play 3 characters and just swing all into them. This is kind of a deterrent in that it, like, if you know your opponent is going to do that, you can just be like, cool, I'm going to pay this cost and I'm going to salvage back stuff from you doing that. So, interesting. Okay. That is an act ability of being able to sacrifice this to choose a particular Ren. Oh, it was this level 2 Ren up here, number 20 it says. Ren fighting the Nekalave in your waiting room and put it on the stage position that this card was in. Which is very interesting for just being able to get it back is kind of interesting. And reuse that particular climax combo. Okay, I'm seeing synergy here. I have to see what we can do. But
it's for sure realizing people didn't really play green.
they're trying to like get stuff
make green
in.
More tantalizing to play.
Someone in there pulled a Donald Trump, make green great again. Oh man, yeah, we're gonna yeah, Cade, go ahead and get political shit pulled into this. Here, no. Oh man. Oh my god. All right, but no, the little kid Ren, it looks absolutely adorable. It's
just too cute.
I know. It's like must give head pats
and hugs.
Yes, it'll be okay, big buddy.
This is the level 3 cost 2 Ren Childhood. Continues if you have 4 more remnant characters. This card loses a level while in your hand, making it essentially a level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Continuous. This card gets 1500 power for each marker underneath this card.
Ah.
Auto. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. And auto, when this card attacks, if there are no markers underneath this card, you can choose up to 1 Lai Ren, aka the Daddy Ren,
mm-hmm.
and 1 On Ren in your waiting room, and put them face up underneath this card in any order as markers.
So but as long as you have those in waiting room, this swings, it instantly becomes a 10-5. Okay. You do have to have those specifics, so you got to have mommy, you got to have daddy. So, but you do, and you got the buffs. But I guess the biggest thing is it's a very easy early play condition to just, as well as being able to heal. Like, you can run it for that aspect alone. It's going to be weak if you don't have the other cards to put as the markers, but this could still be run just for the early play heal. So, that is an interesting thing. All right. Oscar Pine is a 3/2/8/5. If your waiting room has 2 or less climax, this gets minus a level in hand. We go from a really good early play condition to like one of the more generic meh early play conditions. It's whatever. When this is placed on stage from your hand, put up to 1 card from the top of your clock into your waiting room, and this gets 1500 power till end of turn. So you get to heal 1 and it gains a buff for the turn. So it's still an early play healer. Okay, cool. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay the cost, which is 1 stock, and put a remnant character from the bottom of your from your waiting room at the bottom of your clock. That actually is a very interesting wording for that. If you do choose one of your opponent's characters, it gets -2 soul until end of turn. Remember how I said before with the potential alarm effects, making it so the effect, the cost is putting it at the bottom of your clock won't interrupt alarm effects. So if you have like a specific one you want active. So I don't know if there's like a lot of alarm that works on your opponent's turn.
Plus, it gives you that chance to lower any damage you might get from your opponent.
In general, yeah. Like, oh, you're swinging with like a level 0? Cool, I'm just going to say no, -2 soul, you do nothing, more than likely. And then it's Azure Lane playing cats, and they just go, I have like 5 souls swinging at you, and you're like, yeah, we need to cushion this anyway. So,
Or one card in the Project Diva set.
Mm-hmm.
There's +3 soul.
Yeah, yeah. I know it never hits, but have you ever seen the cards that are like, oh, the turn this is played, it gets +50 soul?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I love seeing, it's like, okay, this is obviously like never gonna stick, but it's just hilarious to see to me. So that is going to be it for green, and we get to see all of the gold bars. So the one for Ilya, that actually is some very beautiful art as well, and the one for the Ren level 2. So after they finally
just
beat
Ren
the thing,
stood there as a badass.
yeah, just like, I'm a poke you. But oh god, we got to the Pyrrha video message. Ah, my soul. Oh man.
Sadly, we don't have whatever alternative artwork it may have.
Yeah, that's the only downside, but it's whatever. I'll scoot stuff over a little bit. And,
Same here.
But so this is the exact opposite. Where green, we're like, we got all the alternate, and but none of the regular. This has all the regular, but none of the alternates. It's gonna be kind of funky. Also, it didn't show the Ren SP is what, the level 2.
It's like the Ren SP. It has a lily in the background.
Yeah, it doesn't have it up here. Am I overlooking it?
If it comes to it, I can send you the picture because I have it saved on my computer.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's cool. Send it to me, and future me will edit and post it up on screen to show what the Ren SP looks like.
Yep.
So
I will do that after recorded.
Thank you very much. But we are getting into the Pyrrha, and I read the Oscar, so this one's you.
Mm-hmm. This is the 00 Pyrrha video message. Auto. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, choose one of your remnant characters, and that character gains 2k. In auto, pay 1, put a card from your hand into your main room, put this into your memory. When this card becomes reversed in battle, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for one remnant character, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck afterwards.
Heck yeah. That's honestly, all points of that are really good. I know there was a card that comboed with it, but the power going out, I forgot which one. It was a Jean. I'm scrolling up really quick.
It was like, I think it was the SP one.
I think you're correct on that. Let me scroll down. No, it doesn't. That was a different one. Hold on. I had to have overlooked it. Oh no, it was the level 1. Jean fighting the Nekalave. So if that particular period she just read off is in your memory, he gets a big buff. He's a big chunky boy.
So you can give the 2000 from this period to that Jean.
Mm-hmm.
And do the combo as well, so it becomes even stronger than he would otherwise.
Pretty much. You basically just would have to ram with her, like, on that same turn. I mean, regardless, just being able to go, cool, I play this and give a free 2k buff is just kind of, like, nuts anyway. If you have to reverse, that's, like, massive, so. But it all evens out in the end. So, and also you get to search for whatever the hell you need. Really nice, so. Just use this and search for the Ilias, because this could be splashed.
The Ilias and the Jean you need.
Exactly. Like, even for the search effect alone, even if you don't run the Jean, you can splash this into any colored deck to get, like, some really, really nice utility. Putting itself in memory, you get a little bit of compression as well. Really nice, you know. So, next we get Grenade Launcher. We have Nora working together. Also glad to have Nora back. So, 0015. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard any remnant character. If you do, draw one card. Really good. And when this is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay the cost of pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. If you do, search your deck for up to one level 1 or lower character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand. So this is going to be really good, especially if you run the Ilya combo, because, like I said, I'm kind of leaning towards that Ilya combo. It's kind of nice. So this is another just really, really awesome utility card. Even for, like, the first set, like the RWBY Climax combo from the trial deck was level 1. There was the Weiss. I know people run Weiss.
And where the trial deck Climax combo worked on a RWBY and a Weiss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you It was a RWBY and a Weiss, but each of them had a combo with the same climax. Yes, but so you could easily just dig for the RWBY, use the RWBY's effect, get the Weiss. Yeah, so this is just a really nice card in general. So I very much like the Nora. Oh, speaking of RWBY, we have a RWBY coming up.
That is a really cool artwork as well.
Yes. I can just hear the cocking of the sniper rifle.
We have the 0/0 RWBY fighting the Necrolave. Continuous. If your hand is 5 or more cards, this gains 2k. And auto, put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed into your waiting room from the stage, you pay the cost. If you do, choose Jean School Dance from the base set cards in your waiting room and return it to your hand.
Which, if I remember correctly, that was the level level 1 Jean. So
I think it's a level 1.
I'm fairly certain is. Once again, future me have fun editing stuff. Future me is going to be like really pissed after all this. Post it up on screen, and we will assume that we're correct on this. We could be wrong. We might be right. Who knows? Future me's like, I'll prove you wrong. Anyway, no. But we got Raven, mom, the other mom coming back. Let's see. So 0015, Raven sarcastic remark. Basically, every time she spoke. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a remnant character, put it into your hand, and then you discard 1 card. So some nice little filter stuff. Okay, this is like the Nino. This is literally like the 1 Nino level 0. Okay, when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a remnant character to draw 1 card as well. Just a lot of hand filtering. This is really good for the standby decks, most definitely. So, be able to just, discard all the standby targets that I want, and then just get all the utility. So, which is a good card in general, but definitely very powerful. I scroll down to see Crow looking smug as fuck.
It's this Raven card, to me, it has abilities that are better than the 1/0 Rogue Raven card we had in the base set.
Absolutely.
Because you didn't have to rely on having a climax card.
So, okay, yeah. So this one's you.
Yep. Next, we have Crow feeling lucky with a very smug look on his face.
Yes.
And it's all because he thinks he's better than Raven.
Oh yeah, I loved the bouncing back and forth with them. It was just so fun.
It's just typical brother and sister.
Pretty much.
Auto, when this card is placed on the stage from your hand, look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top of your deck or in your waiting room. So it's like, if you join as a character, you can either leave it there or put it into your waiting room to increase the chance of it possibly being a climax card when your opponent attacks you. And auto, return this card to your hand. When your climax is placed on your climax area, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 1 of your characters, and that character gains a soul until the end of turn.
Heck yeah. Soul pumping with... Once again, Standby is just one of those cards that is just so insane. Like, oh, cool, I played the Standby. Oh, cool, I'm going to bounce this back and give something a soul, and then summon like a level 2 or 3 where this Crow was. So, very, very powerful for the Standby decks as well. So I'm just seeing so many cards that I'm just like, yes, give me more utility for being able to pull off shenanigans and just make people mad. Specifically my buddy Matt, but that's whatever. Anyway, we got Arthur. Arthur. I say Arthur because it's clearly Arthur, but you see how they spelled it up here? They
swapped the T for the R on my screen.
We have Arthur. So 103K. When your climax with a door trigger is placed on your climax area, choose 1 of your remnant characters, and that character gets +1 soul till end of turn. So we do have the return of the villain red cards. So when your other character's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose 1 of your remnant characters, and that character gets 1,000 power till end of turn. And lastly, because this is just all the effects, pay 1, rest this card's an act ability. Choose one of your remnant characters, and it gets the following ability till end of turn, that when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can salvage back a character from your waiting room. So being able to just a little bit extra salvage, you're going to reverse, really nice. So he's just basically pumping everything. It's just like, this just sits in the back row and just does its job of just, cool, I'm going to give a buff every turn. I'm going to help you salvage. I'm going to give you more attack and more soul just for existing. So very nice. Definitely, it fits very well with, like, because he was a support role for the most part in the show.
So it was just like, I need this doing, you handle it.
Pretty much. So yeah, we got all the villains are back. Okay, yeah. So we got, like, oh god. I just scrolled down a little bit just to see stuff, and I'm going back up to the Salem, but I saw the Tyrion, just his face. It's just like, what the hell? But, all right. But yeah, sorry, going with Salem here.
Next, we have the level 1 cost 0 Salem Inner Circle. Auto, put one remnant character from your hand into your waiting room. When this is placed on the stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to one Tyrion Inner Circle. Reveal it to your opponent. Put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's a good way of getting one card out in particular. And auto, when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 1 or lower, you may reverse that character.
So always good to have.
And I just love how, like, regal she looks in the art.
Absolutely, just like, I know I'm a bad bitch, like, straight. So, okay, so all of these have the same name of character name Inner Circle for a lot of for at least those three. The Tyrion is, and way
basically it's basically for when they have showed them, like, all sitting on the conference table with Salem talking to them.
Yeah, that is that. See, I remember the moment you said that. I remembered the scene. Okay, got you. All right, so then we have Hazel Inner Circle. It's a 1/05K. When this card is put into your waiting room from the stage, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 climax with a door trigger from amongst those. Add it to your hand. If you put a card into your hand this way, choose. You have to discard a card afterwards. So, being able to try to dig for the salvage is very interesting. Like, I've seen other effects that, like, search the deck for the door triggers, but not the digging like that. That's interesting. It is also its own
unique to other ones that can do the same job.
Pretty much. So interesting. Like I said, I'm very, very interested on that one. This next one with the fucking face, just the Tyrion.
It's just the face.
Just yay. Oh my goodness! But this is I already like reading the effect. This is a very interesting effect for interesting card for, like, the standby stuff in general. Even if you don't use this with like the villain deck or anything, this could do some shenanigans.
This is the level 1 Tyrion Amuse, which, if memory serves right, is when Crow stabs him in the tail.
Yeah, it was like this. Is this when he's, like, perched on the building or something?
It's basically when Tyrion goes to charge. I think it was at RWBY.
Yeah, it's
and
part of that
Crow
fight.
Disappears and just stabs him in the tail. Of, you're not harming her.
Yeah, you're not touching my niece.
And then Tyrion's just like, ooh, a challenge.
Exactly. So I'm very curious to see what the alternate art of if they do, like, an alternate art or something of this. I'm very curious if they do like a Joker, like, grin, you know,
or just his tail.
Exactly.
But during your turn, this gets 2k, and continuous. If the character facing this is cost 0 or lower, this card cannot be reversed.
Heck yeah. So being able to deny your opponent on reverse stuff, and then he just keeps living if they basically have to have a cost to them to be able to kill him. So that's going to be very interesting for that. Speaking of,
it's just that face.
It is that, like, just something about this is just like, Why this frame, Bushi? Why this frame in particular? But it's all good. We have Nora Childhood, which, obviously it was like part of the flashback with Ren and everything. So it's a 214K. If you have 4 or more remnant characters, this gets 6,000 power. So you have to have a full field. Oh, no, 4 or more. It doesn't say other. No, okay. It says other on the card itself, but it doesn't say it up here. So you do have to have a full field. I was about to say you don't. Okay, but you do. It says other. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, if you have 2 or more other remnant characters, you may draw 2 cards. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand and put them into your waiting room. That's actually a very interesting filter effect. I kind of like that. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, if you have 4 or more other remnant characters, you may choose a remnant character in your waiting room and put it into your stock. It basically pays for itself, which is great. So,
especially for getting like level 3s out and for paying to use abilities as well.
Absolutely. Like filter, like being able to, okay, I'm going to play this. The stock is going to pay for itself. It's clean stock. You know exactly what it is. I don't like the ones that do this where it's like, oh, so put the top card of your deck into your stock. Like, yeah, it pays for itself.
The blind stalkers.
Exactly. Just like, okay, you don't know what it is. Have fun.
Where you have to pray it's not a card you need.
Exactly. But instead, you could go, oh, cool, I'm going to draw 2 cards and then discard 2. The 2 you draw, one of those might be the exact thing you need. So that's actually really cool. Okay, so no, it's not this one. This is there's another Tyrion then, because she's the Salem said Inner Circle number 41 is the one she searched. So it's not this next one; it's a future one. Okay.
But this one is the level 2 cost 1 Tyrion, evenly matched, which is while he's fighting Crow.
Mm-hmm.
When this card attacks, if the character facing this is level 3 or higher, this gets plus 6k, which is your usual level 3 Slayer power boost. When this card, level 2 or higher battle opponent becomes reverse, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a remnant character, choose 1 remnant character in your rain room and return it to your hand.
Heck yeah. Being able it's just
a solid combination of abilities on him.
Absolutely, because you end up becoming a 13k, which is gonna slay a lot of stuff. And then even if you attack like a level 2, that's like weak or whatever, you could easily get this. But, oh look, you have a level 3, cool. I'm more than likely gonna kill you and salvage off of it, which is really nice. So
that should salvage another copy of him? Or even like a level 3 that was sent to your waiting room.
Just keep the cycle going. Like, that'd be interesting. So we have RWBY working together as a 2/2/65. This gets 1,000 power for each of your other remnant characters, and so that will pump her up to a 10/5. And when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order. So this is obviously going to be like a very interesting standby target. So being able to do the top checking and all that after you've like attacked and killed something, that's very interesting. So I kind of like this as a very good level 2 target. Oh, okay. So speaking of standby, the next Crow has standby as well. So, yay, more standby. So
this is the level 3 cost 2 Crow evenly matched with just the best close-up of his face for any card art.
Absolutely. Once again, the smug grins just get me with some of these effects. It's just some of these the card arts is just great.
His abilities are continuous. If all your characters are remnant, this card gets the following abilities. Continuous. During your turn, this gets 5k. And Auto Encore. Put 1 remnant card from your hand to your waiting room. And has a climax combo with the climax card, the coolest landing strategy. If that is in your climax area, from your climax area to your waiting room, at the beginning of your attack phase, if you have 2 or more other remnant characters, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this card, and this gets a further 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn.
Halfway through you reading that, I realized, oh, this is a mirror copy of... There's a level 2 Nino from the quintuplet set. I may be misremembering like a small wording change, but I want to say the overall effect is just the exact copy. Like what it accomplishes. Yeah.
It's like, what are some people's favorite abilities from Quints that stick on Crow?
Yeah, like, okay, we're like, okay, I'm not opposed to them bringing older set effects and pulling it into cards for a new set for something like this. But so far we've seen a very interesting copy, not exact mirror copy, but a copy of like a similar effect of the level 1 Aaron from AOT, the Nino now with the Crow, and I know there was some other ones, but like I said, I'm trying to remember like some of the stuff. It's just very interesting how we're just gonna copy your homework, Quints, and just bring it over. Okay. It's good.
Which
like
the older set's abilities can still be really good even now.
Absolutely. Because this is just really, really strong. Like I am very happy with this effect. I'm definitely gonna be picking this up for shenanigans.
Especially with like the base power of 7,000 and 2 soul on them.
Exactly. Like being able to.
So it's like they stole what the trial deck Blake Battle Stance did, and the booster packs Yang Warm Welcome did. It's just like Crow's like, here, hold my drink.
Yeah.
For just the power boost ability. And he has the hand to Wayne Room Encore of Yang Warm Welcomed on him. So it's just like, how can we make Yang's ability better?
Absolutely. It's gonna be fun. I'm definitely gonna be I'm going to be messing around on the simulator after this, most definitely.
So I hope when I do eventually get my pre-order, because some pre-orders are really late, as are all pre-orders.
Yeah.
Where you don't know if you're going to get it late or early, but I hope I get this card.
I got you.
Because my level 2 areas suck.
It's all good. You'll be able to get it. Oh, man. As I say that, as I'm scrolling down, as you're like explaining it, and it's just Nora's face is just, it just made me like think of you just going, my level 2 game sucks. It's just like Nora's face of just like the crying is just like, aw, my heart. So no, give her the head pats. So,
and the boops.
All the boops, yes. People don't boop enough anymore. That sounds really weird out of context. Anyway. So we have...
It's the cutest way, if you don't know whether to give someone a hug or a high five, just
exactly.
Boop.
Exactly. It's like, you know what? It's going to be wholesome regardless. So...
Yeah.
Then we have 3-2 Nora fighting the Knuckalave, 8k. It feels kind of weak, but like she's meant to be a buffer, clearly. All of your other Remnant characters get 1,500 power. Global 15 for that in a standby deck is kind of nuts, so that's really cool. When this card is placed on stage from hand... Oh, okay. Choose up to one character with a level equal to or lower than your level in your hand. Put it on any position of your stage, and that character gets plus 2k power till end of turn. You get to basically... If you're at level 3 hardcasting this, you get to summon 2 level 3s for the cost of 1. So that's very nice. Obviously you don't get the effect if you stand by it in general, but like obviously you're trying to more summon this at level 2. Or at level 2. Yeah, at level 3. Sorry. Very interesting.
Like if you don't have a level 3 you want to play, we have a level 2 will do better.
Exactly.
Use this Nora to get that card out to give it the extra 2k.
Summon the Crow. Just
exactly.
Like, oh, cool. It's already big as mess anyway. So, okay. So this next one is the Tyrion that the Salem can grab. So, okay. So we found the culprit. Also, there's a Cinder. Okay.
And this is the 3-2 Tyrion Inner Circle that the Salem mentions. Continuous. If you have 4 or more remnant characters, this loses a level while in your hand, making it level 2 while it's in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Continuous. During your turn, if you have another remnant character, this card gets 2,500 power and the following ability. Also, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put the card. Oh, you may put that character into your opponent's memory. So if your opponent can't play memory, it's the best way to just be like, that card, that's going into the forbidden area that you can't play.
Exactly.
And also, put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, put the top card of your clock into your stock.
Alright, so this is just good all around. Early play, heal to stock, so it pays for half of its cost. And yeah, it's not big defensively, but 25 plus 85, that's 11. It's gonna kill stuff, and it can be very interesting removal. If something's like really bothering you, and you're just like, all right, we're just getting this off the field, send it to memory, get it the hell out of here. Like that's a very interesting. Once again, though, this could be run just for the early play heal. So very nice there. All right, so we have Cinder Inner Circle. We have quite a bit of red left. Sorry, I just had to check. A
lot of red.
Yeah, that's all. I was like, okay. So 3/2 10k. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may discard 1 card. If you do, all players return all cards in their waiting room to their decks and shuffle their decks. This ability activates up to 1 time per turn. During the turn this card was placed on stage from your hand, when damage dealt by this card is cancelled, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent. So just a little bit extra burn, which is funny considering her scars. And being able to like decompress your opponent, or if you're in like a bad position, this could be very interesting. So it has potentiality. I'm not immediately sold on it, but it like I said, everything has potential.
It's like one of those, like, unless you see a few people playing it, you don't know whether or not it'd be right for your deck.
Yeah. Like, it could be like a safe, like, Tech 1 copy of it and just, like, see how often it comes up type thing. So, I don't know. Possibly. Like, the next one's just like Crow. Like, okay, cool. We're just going to punch people in the face. Ooh, I see that.
I just love how they even call it just fist fight.
Yeah.
As well.
It's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to change this name to Crow Ass Kicking. Like, the appropriate name. Put some respect on his name, Bushi. Anyway.
This is the 3/2 Crow Fist Fight auto. Put 1 card from your hand into your main room. When this attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, this card gets 2k and the following ability to the end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, deal 1 damage to your opponent, and that damage can be cancelled.
Yeah.
And also, at the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, if this card is in your center stage, choose 1 of your characters, and that character gets 4k to the end of turn.
Some nice buffs and just a little bit extra burn really can't hurt. Like, it could be a very interesting, just a little bit of an off finisher. So,
especially like if you have like 2 copies of this Crow, and you have a level 3 off to one side that you have facing your opponent's strongest card. It helps you get extra power to that card in particular.
Absolutely.
Plus the chance to get more burn damage, essentially, through the first ability. So it gives you that extra chance of docking more damage on your opponent than you would otherwise.
That's why we call it Crow Ass Kicking. So.
Yeah. A whole kind of whoop ass.
Absolutely. So this next one actually is very interesting. It combos, unless we get a reprint of the standby in this set, which we'll find out in a second here. So 3/2 10k RWBY Determined. So for one, it's a heal 1 on play, just outright from your hand. But it combos with Ruby's Awakening, which is from the first set. Like I said, I don't know if they reprinted it. We'll check in a minute here. At the beginning of your attack phase, if you have the Ruby's Awakening in play, if this card is in your center stage and you have 2 or more other Remnant characters, you get to pick one of the following effects and perform it. Either choose one of your other Remnant characters and stand it, which has synergy obviously with the standby, and then choose up to 2 of your characters, and those characters get +1 solid till end of turn, which is beneficial because the standbys obviously don't give stats. So, or burn your opponent for 1 and she gains 1,000 power till end of turn. So, if you're able to like utilize like you're able to get this out at like level 2 or something, and you somehow stay at level 2 for like a turn, this could be very interesting to be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna standby in another level 3. I mean, you can still do this at level 3, but just it depends on the character that you need, and just summon another level 3. Go ahead and stand it, even though you just summoned it off the standby. So, a lot of interesting utility with that one. So, let's see. Coolest landing strategy from the Crow level 2. That has a standby. It goes straight to blue, so they did not reprint it. You would still have to use the Ruby's Awakening from Volume 1. Sometimes with these, they'll do like reprints of some of the climaxes. So where this was the season where we just got like all the parents as well. We just got to see,
just like,
yeah.
Here's all the parents.
It's just like,
and more of the villains.
Exactly. We got just.
I just realized this is our first one that's labeled assist.
Yeah, it actually has assist up there instead of just like, oh, continuous, type thing. We get Callie Milfadonna. Anyway, what?
we have Callie and Gira Belladonna with 500 assist, which is your generic level 0 assist, power boost, and auto. Put this card into your waiting room. When your other Remnant character is put into your waiting room from stage, if this is in your backstage, repay the cost. If you do, return that character to his previous stage position, rested. Heck
yeah. Being able to just like have extra like cards like this just to be able to like save your characters is really nice. Like that's going to be really interesting. I glanced down at the next one. Klein Sieben, which is 7 in German.
Yeah, it's like
because he's the 7 dwarfs.
Weiss Schwarz is German for Snow White.
Exactly. So it's just like, okay. I just love so he is. I knew that's what he was. That he was like the 7 dwarves, like all mixed into one person. But I didn't know that his last name was 7. I just thought that was really cool. So I was like,
and voiced by J. Michael Tatum.
Oh yeah, he did voice it. I forgot about that completely, actually. So
it's like those of you who love from God's name now.
Sebastian?
No, remember. Oh, Brother Alchemist.
Oh, true.
Mm-hmm.
So
this not only was like the last season, well, the season before Mick's last season voicing Crow, but the actor who voices Oscar voices the little brother of Edward Elric.
Oh.
So in the season they made a joke of that. When Oscar meets up with Crow. So they did a little nod to it.
I did not know that. That is so cool. I need to go back and rewatch that now. This is why you look up the voice actors and you try to understand the connections and stuff. I love that. I love that so much. But all right, so we're going to Klein. We have when this is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a climax. And if you do, you get to salvage back any Remnant character from your waiting room. So, already really good. And this also combos with a Weiss, I think it was a level 1 Weiss. I don't remember exactly which one, but it was a Weiss from the first set. When this is put,
I think it's either level 1 or level 2.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't remember. I want to say it was the level 1. Future me, do your work. Future me, do your thing. Weiss. Sorry. When this is put into your waiting room from the stage, you can discard a card to grab back that particular Weiss from your waiting room and add it to hand. So just his whole thing is just like salvaging stuff back and just being able to get what you need when you need it. So we are not far from being finished, but it's all good. We are just continuing along. Oh, this is interesting. Okay.
Okay, next up, we have the level 00 Weiss feeling trapped. I love how, even though she's looking out the window, it looks like she's in a crystal.
It does. Like I was like, oh yeah, because I was trying to remember the exact scene. It's like, yeah, she's looking out the window, but yeah, it looks like she's like in a crystal. Like it looks really cool.
Also, when this card attacks, choose one of your other characters, and that gets 1,000 power for the turn. And also, put one card from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is put into your waiting room from the stage, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at the top 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose one level 1 or higher card from among them. Reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and the rest go into your waiting room.
Okay. What was this? Was there was a Fubuki, I think, from Hololive that does something that is basically very, very similar for this effect. So it's definitely a very good card to be able to try to dig. Once again, I realize my brain just thinks in standby now because I'm like, ooh, this could be some fun standby shenanigans.
It's just like as soon as standby came out.
So I'm just like, oh god, just more utility. Why?
I can see this work really well in people who build white rose decks.
Ooh.
Where it's Ruby and Weiss.
True. Just
because
yeah.
My husband's deck is a white rose focus deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is what he's possibly, if he gets this card, it's what he's going to be putting in.
Definitely. Like, this is very good. So
it's like where there wasn't too much to build a solid Bumblebee deck.
Oh.
But with the premium boosters set, you can build full-on Bumblebee decks with the base set, as well as just John and Kira decks.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives more opportunity to just solid teams or just the ships as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of the bigger thing, like, going forward. Hopefully, if they end up making more sets, now that we know that the show's been picked up by Viz Media and everything, hopefully they'll continue.
Viz Media, you best be listening.
So please keep talking with Bushiroad about more RWBY sets. Just the more that you get,
more RWBY.
Absolutely. Like I just want more in general. Whether it's more seasons, more cards, whatever. Just I need it. With the more sets that come out, the easier it is to make the ship decks, which is just really cool to me. So.
And it's helping bring more players to Weiss Schwarz as well.
Exactly. Like I felt,
because people are like,
yeah.
I love RWBY. I want more merch. Like, ooh, there's a card game.
Oh, look, here's merch with cards basically signed by the voice actors. It's like, there you go. Have fun. So, next we have a Whitley Schnee. We have a 102K. He has 2 different act abilities. So the first one is, put a card from your hand to waiting room and sack this. Choose one of your characters in your waiting room, return it to your hand, as well as a rest, which you basically would do the rest effect first. Choose one of your characters. It gets 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can give a buff, sack him, salvage back a Weiss, or whatever you need. Honestly, really good. Like, just really good card in general. Even though he's a little dimwit, but, you know, that's whatever. Oh, we have the, once again, more parents. We got Daddy. Daddy Jacques. Also known as the KFC man.
He just...
Oh man!
I never noticed that before.
Yeah, he looks like the KFC man to a degree. I realize the suit's a little bit different, but yeah.
Now we know what happened to Colonel Sanders.
There we go.
He changed his name to Jacques Schnee.
Exactly. Schnee-tucky fried chicken.
This is the 1-1 Jock and Whitley listening to concert. Also, when this card is placed on the stage from your hand, if you have another Remnant character, this card gets 4k to the end of turn. And in autumn, when this card is placed on the stage from your hand, if you have 4 more other Remnant characters, you choose one Remnant character in your waiting room and put it into your stock.
So it pays for itself if you have a full field, and basically becomes an 85 for 1 turn. So, which is very big for a level 1, to be completely fair. It just after that, it's kind of done for 1 turn. So it's meant to come in, punch really hard, and then basically go out. So, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, and just get you something from your clock into your stock, and that's it.
Yeah. We got Blake letting go. Yeah, because this is where she gets rid of the ribbon, which is just no.
Which is just I'm going to embrace cyber fullness.
Exactly.
No more hiding.
So it's a 2/155. During your turn, this gets 1,000 power for each of your other Remnant characters. So that'll put her at a 95, which is still very with the full field. That is still very big, and it gets even bigger from there. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you can pay the cost, which is discarding a Remnant character from your hand to waiting room. If you do, choose a Sun Awkward Smile in your waiting room and put it on any position of your stage. That was the one that can do the switching, the swapping around with. It's this specific Blake, number 51. And then when your other Remnant character...
It was the Sun with that really weird smile.
Yeah, it was just the tea, it's great. It's just like I said, it's really
I prefer coffee than tea. That'll be nice.
When your other Remnant character attacks, this gets 1,500 power until end of turn. So both of her buffs are just during your turn. So she goes back down to a 55. So in my mind, the best thing is to just basically it's the Sun trying to swap out and protect her so that she can still do some more attacks the following turn. So so she was 95. When your other Remnant attacks 15, so if she attacks last, she'll gain another 3k, which puts her at a 12k as a level 2. So that's strong. That's gonna hurt some stuff. So that's very interesting.
It definitely gets level 3s people are going to get out via standby and other means.
Absolutely. Sorry, I had to stretch. Whew. Then we have James with his 5 o'clock shadow here.
The 5 o'clock shadow that just looks like he's paint grease on his face.
It really does. I know you can only they obviously did their best with what they had, but it does look just so painted on with him.
And it's just we forgot to put facial hair on him. Quick, half a shade difference.
Exactly. Just quick. I just imagine someone there sitting in I know it's not in paint, but that's just what it makes me think of. And just paint, just trying to scribble it really quickly.
Yeah.
Just I gotta give me a second. So, but yeah, sorry. I keep interrupting. I'm sorry. Just carry on.
It's okay. This is the 2/1 James making a point, which is another backup card. Auto, use this card's backup. Put the bottom X cards of your opponent's deck into their waiting room. X is equal to the number of Remnant characters you have.
Heck yeah.
So if your stage is full, that's how many cards your opponent has to put from the bottom of their deck to their waiting room.
Make them basically mill 5 from the bottom, which is not really bad, not the worst in the world.
But it gets rid of that thing of you're at level 3. Your opponent doesn't have that many cards in their deck.
Get them closer to a refresh, most definitely. And you don't have to pay a cost.
Yeah, so that they'll lose to a refresh. That's the point I see of that one's ability.
Absolutely. If you can do that multiple times as well, just really piss them off that way, that'd be great. Okay, so this is the Weiss Determined. Hold on. I thought it was hold on. I'm going back up really quick, which was...
This is the one that Klein mentions.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 'cause I misread this Klein. Actually, it says choose that particular level 3 Weiss or the Weiss from the set. My brain was thinking it was just one of the cards, but okay. So you can also grab this particular Weiss. Okay, so it is a 3/2/9K. When this is placed on stage from your hand, put up to one card from the top of your clock into your waiting room, and this card gets 1,500 power until end of turn. So she'll be a 10/5. And then when this card attacks, if you have another remnant character, you can pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. Choose up to 2 cards amongst them, put them on top of their deck in any order, put the rest into waiting room. This is it's obviously not on like a climax combo or anything, but it's very reminiscent of the Mocha from Bang Dream. Once again, I know that was a climax combo. You didn't have to pay for it, but it's still I'm going to look at your top 2 cards. Oh, I see some climaxes. Send them to the waiting room.
Or I see your best cards in your deck.
Exactly. So it's just like, oh, you're going to need this next turn. Are you standby? Cool. You don't have standby. Get out of here. So that is just neat little extra thing to have. It's not the worst utility in the world either. Obviously it heals on play, so I mean you can't really go wrong there. And then still could potentially get cards out that are important. So very good. It looks like the last one is a Blake, and this is the last one before the climax. That climax looks so cool. But sorry, go ahead.
It does. This is the 3/2 Blake Determined. Also, pay 1 during your main phase. When this is placed on the stage from your hand or from your deck, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for 1 Blake Determined. Put it in any position on your stage and shuffle your deck. So it's basically copying Blake's semblance ability of making clones of herself.
And that fits so well. I love that.
But it's just like, why did it take them this long to do that?
I'm trying to remember. They didn't really have any... I have to double check the first set. There might have been a level 1 that summons some copies of itself or something, but it did, like, I don't know. I'm probably misremembering that with like another card effect, but I don't know.
And has the climax ability of when a trustworthy partner is placed on your climax area. If this card is in your center stage, choose one of your characters, and that character gains a soul and the following ability to the end of turn. Or this ability activates up to 1 per turn, and damage dealt by this card is cancelled. Deal 2 damage to your opponent, which also can be cancelled.
Which is really, really cool. Okay, so you basically get to summon an extra copy of it. You actually you can do more than that, because it says during main phase, when it's summoned from hand or deck, you can pay 1. So you can, for 4 stock, just get out 3 copies of this, slap down the pants. Every single one of them is swinging for a minimum of... because if this is... choose one of your characters, so you can give it to herself. Every single one of the Blakes is swinging for a minimum of 4 soul. And if any of that gets canceled, burn for 2. Which is just... okay. Yeah, that's very nice. So, I like this. I kind of want to try this out as a finisher and see how well that is, because it's very, very cheap cost. Like I said, being able to summon more copies of itself is just, like, really powerful with that. So, I like
Plus, it gives you that extra option of, like, in case it doesn't hit, you got another one. As well as your opponent had an ability that reverses this one. You still got one you can use later on.
Exactly. So, and then lastly, obviously we had the climax, the trustworthy partner. Like I said, the art for this, they do like so very nice. This is one of the cooler fight scenes in that particular season.
Because you have one of Sun's clones basically throwing Blake
just like
at the sea monster Grim.
Oh yeah, the Sun's clones are just like so strong. So I also realized we didn't have the other SPs in here for red or blue.
No, we did have the Ruby, the Weiss, or the Blake.
Sad.
And also did show the Lyran one.
The Ren.
But I got an image of that one from...
Didn't Nora have one?
The Bushi Road website. I think Nora did, but I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. We'll that's future me's problems. We're just gonna scroll back up here to the Yang, and
the gorgeous Yang.
Like, honestly, that thing, like that and the Jean both look really good. Like, all the SPs look fantastic, but I also feel it's just appropriate to end on that particular picture with you. There we go. So, yeah. So yeah, that was all of the RWBY, what the hell? The RWBY Premium Booster set. Like I said, I know this set's already out. That's totally cool, no issue. I just love this show. I very much am down to see any new cards that come out for it. The fact also with the Premium Booster that every one of these has a normal version and not just like double rares and stuff like that. Like, it should be very, very easy to pick up all the cards. So I'm going to be checking out some prices for some stuff after I finish up this. Probably putting in a TCG player order. But we will see. But no, thank you very much to Husky Ninja for joining me in on this. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for being here.
For having me.
Absolutely. So link...
And if any of you aren't subscribed to Base Damage, subscribe to him and check out all his awesome videos.
Gasp! My heart. So thank you so much. I don't consider my videos as awesome. I'm glad someone says they are. Just casually wipe away a single tear. Oh my god! No, it's really cool. So links for Husky Ninja's channel and her stuff will be in the description. And like she said, what are you doing if you ain't subscribed? Go ahead, hit the button. Hit it. Anyway, thank y'all especially if you stuck around this long, listening to us yap about RWBY and just having just fans talking about a series they love. Thank y'all very much. There'll also be a link for the Discord in the description if you want to join that as well. So closing thoughts. I'm like I said, I very much want more RWBY, and I see that a lot of the cards, they're not super game breaking, but I feel it's definitely Premium Booster. It's a boost that they needed, that to definitely give
much
it some
in
really
the base set it was lacking.
Yeah, they're the base set was still good, but against certain sets, against certain decks, they just could not compete. You see a RWBY deck pop up every now and then for some of the tournament stuff, and I love seeing that. I'm so happy when those actually top. I'm like, yo, RWBY, let's check it out. But seeing them get more love, obviously, and hopefully more love in the future, crossing fingers, Viz Media, and just seeing them get kind of just an upgrade to get kind of up to speed with a lot of other decks. It's obviously not, I don't think this is going to push them into the same realm as some other really, really powerful broken decks.
It's not gonna throw into the same areas like Bang Dream and Hollow Live.
Yeah.
I feel it gets it somewhere close to them.
Yeah, I can see it. It gets them that much closer that maybe a future set will push them into this is one of the strongest sets. That would be so cool for that to actually happen. So I would love for that.
I remember. Mm-hmm. Before the RWBY set was even announced for Weiss Schwarz, where people were like, it'll never, ever happen.
I wanted it.
And I said
so
to him, never say never on a series this popular.
Never say never more. Anyway, I did that on every single one of the surveys. I would always say, please get RWBY. Please get RWBY. So I know I pushed for it hard.
So did I.
It's they answered our prayers when they finally announced this. My jaw, way back when with the first set, when they finally announced that RWBY was getting a set, my jaw hit the floor. I was so happy. I was just I don't care.
I had a heart attack with how loud I screamed when it was announced.
Now all they need now is to do my girl Coco some justice, and we're good. But anyway.
I think there's only like one Coco card in the whole
a
set.
singular Coco card. That's
like
it.
two for Neo.
Yeah, and both of Neo's are good, but this is like, yeah, it's like, okay, the character who doesn't talk at all in the show gets, has more cards anyway. But we could rant about that for like hours, but it's all good. Thank y'all very much for watching. Once again, go check out Husky Ninja's stuff, and we will see y'all next time. Peace out for now.